Guys, I did a commentary on Doug, and you know what? I think I found his long-lost cousin, B.W. Rosses. This guy is a Sonic fan who's admittedly been a furry. Yes, he actually has it on his homepage saying that he is a furry. I admire you for your openness, dude, but there's just one problem. You treat Sonic SatAm like it's some sort of god. But not only that, the guy has actively been one of the most targeted fans. Why? He made an entire retrospective of why he likes the series, and the fact that he thinks that the series is the second coming of Jesus. Made a fan vid of Celine Dion's best song, in my opinion, to Sonic pairing, and then did a follow-up video, and that is what I'm going to be commentating on today. And oh boy, does this guy give me the fucking creeps. So let's get started.
Hey everybody, what's up? You know, I wanted to kind of
So you're gonna okay, I'm just gonna start off by saying using the script is key. 2. You look very creepy. I think it would be a good idea to not show your face on your videos. All of them.
come on here and say one thing. You know, a lot of people kind of wonder, with everything that's going on in the comic right now,
I know this might be asking a bit much, but could you explain what happened in the comic, or what is happening? Some of us have not read the comic nor care about it. Just saying.
you know, everybody's wondering why. I'm pretty sure they ask themselves this with everything going on in the comic, why fans like myself continuously draw characters like Sally and Bunny and, you know, and Sonic and Rhoda and Antron the way they are, or as some of us like to say, the way they were. It's because, it's like I said before in a video which you can see here on my channel, it's because we like to see, it's because this is how we're used to seeing the characters. You know, we're not...
This roughly translates to, I don't want to draw things from the comics because they're too hard to draw. I guess I'll give him credit where credit is due. At least he admitted that he doesn't know how to draw. Even though he didn't outright say it, I still sensed it within his, you know, subconscious way he said his words and such. I speak technical.
Being turned into robots, and even if they are, we're used to seeing that probably for about 1 issue, maybe 2, and if at the limit, maybe 4, or even 5, and that's it. We're not used to seeing them beyond that, you know.
Oh, I get what you're trying to say now. You don't like the more modern look. You don't like what the characters are going through now, so you reverted back to looking at your childhood inspiration. Yeah, I don't think everybody does that. I just think you do that because you think it's the second coming of the Messiah.
Just the way they used to be, because it's how we know them. It's how we as fans know them, and it's kind of the equivalent. Let's say you're a fan of a certain anime, or a fan of a certain anime or manga.
Oh my god. How can you mispronounce manga? It's one of the easiest words I've ever faced with, except for ooh, oh, and I. Oh my god. But this is not the first time you even mispronounced words. You called Chris Boris Chris Bros. And he's so well known for being a ripoff. Oh god, why did I pick this video?
And let's say they decide they want to change one of the characters into something that is unrecognizable, or something that you feel is not what they're supposed to look like. You still, even though you would see that, you still at times would draw the characters the way you feel they should be drawn or should be looked at and seen. And that's how, you know, that draw the characters the way they were. I mean, there are characters like, say, there are fans like, say,
Guys, I'm gonna cut out the next 2 minutes and 23 seconds. The guy goes on for these couple of minutes to name drop a shit ton of people. And I am dead serious here. It takes up 2 minutes. And then he says to name a few. I'm sorry, but dropping names every 3 seconds is not a few. In all reality, you should have cut this out of your video, like I'm doing right now. It brought nothing up to your points. And besides, you showed us a picture that proved you wrong. Someone actually drew a picture of Sally when she looked different and not from the show. Yeah.
They continuously doing all this because this is how they're used to seeing the characters. They're not used to seeing the characters roboticized. They're not used to seeing the characters injured. They're not used to seeing the characters de-roboticized. They're used to seeing them the way they are. And, to me, even though, and to me that just shows that, and to me that is why that even though,
there is this thing called scripting that you should do before you do a video. It's actually a very wise idea when you're trying to defend yourself against people who are actually making legitimate points. Since you have not brought up any legitimate points at all in your video.
So they'll read the comics, they'll open them up, or hear what people have to say about what's going on, or even see scans and all that. They will essentially still continuously draw the characters the other way because that's how they're used to seeing them. The same goes for someone like myself if I do a fan vid, or anybody else that does a fan vid, like Jay Foxfire, just to name another. We do the fan vids. Either it's a fan vid based on a character, or based on a gender, if you will, or based on a certain gender of women, if you will, or...
So, this is a video where you're trying to say that other people do the same thing that you do. Well, you might be correct. This is a psychological defense mechanism. You're trying to say that you're not the only one who does this, but they haven't been caught. Because in reality, they know what they shouldn't have done. You didn't. You broke a boundary that many people consider to be sacred. She died, and then you used a song that not only was probably the best song she sang, but to a pairing nonetheless. This is why people called you out on it. It was a bad idea. You, on the other hand, didn't view it as such. Creative rights aside, it was a very bad idea to put that on the internet.
Or a pairing, a romantic pairing like Sonic Sally or Bunny Antoine, or even to throw it out there, Sonic Amy, or No.
I find it hilarious the way he reacts here. He cups his hands together and body language changes and he's silent. He doesn't like this pairing. But you know what the disturbing thing is? That's actually how he feels about it. Which I can now officially say this. Go to a therapist. You need help.
Knuckles Rouge or Knuckles Dually 2. The reason we continuously still draw them, the reason we take our time, the reason we continuously do that, I should say, do those kind of vids, is because that's how we're used to seeing them. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that either way.
I agree. You are correct with that. But here's the thing. The video that you uploaded about Sally and Sonic was not a very good video. The video had Whitney Houston's song in it. It pretty much signified that you didn't give two shits about what happened. That's not a good thing. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think in all reality, you don't feel any remorse for putting it out there. Besides, I've seen your other video. You have no remorse. You just think people don't like it because of the little work you put into it. Yeah, that's the reason.
Whether it's drawing or doing a fan vid, it's what we're used to seeing. Again, I understand some people are like, well, you know, some people may. I can understand some people will probably look at that and like and be like, oh, come on, guys, you know, get over it. You know, it's different now. Things have changed. Things have been shaken up. It's understandable, but what I'm saying essentially.
I swear to God, if you say that's how we view it, I will end the video right after you say it. Because I expect nothing more from someone who hasn't written a script, who doesn't edit out his pauses, stutters, or anything else. You're just getting very annoying extremely fast.
The fan artwork is because that's how we know them.
And you guys thought I was lying. Nope, I'm not. Because for the rest of the video, he does nothing aside from say the same exact thing. But here's something else. He said something that honestly made me realize something. Realize that he doesn't know what he's talking about. And what is that? He says, and I quote, "There's nothing wrong with what we do." B.W. Rosses, there is definitely something wrong with what you do. You are 32 years old. You have hundreds upon hundreds of cartoons. You talk about WWE. You talk about anime. And yet you see nothing wrong with what you're doing. Let me explain about why it is wrong for what you're doing. 1. You are a grown man. You should not make videos about pairings of a hedgehog and whatever the fuck Sally is. 2. You shouldn't need to post 3,900 videos of stuff that no one gives two shits about. You don't need to update that often. And 3, and the most important thing, you need to seek help. The fact that you take this shit so seriously, and the fact that you actively chose to have a knothole resident in your retrospective of a fan kind of shows me that you don't know how to judge character. I'm sorry, but I think perhaps that you should take my advice, get some help, and perhaps you can change for the better. With that being said, I hope whoever watched this video enjoyed it and will forever see me as a prototypical non-Sonic fag. And yes, I am addressing as B.W. Rosses as a Sonic fag. Good job, Internet.